All right, MA Marignon, turn 6. This is the time where you should have at least 2 expansions parties going, maybe more. Things are really starting to roll and it's looking up. And, well, that's not exactly what we have going on. But in the good news department, looks like our assassinations were successful. We could have actually attacked with our last commander and taken that province this turn, but, I chose to be more cautious. Things have not been going our way. And then we have a battle in Summerlands, although we can see from all the random events, we did take the province. So, yeah, which is, should have no problem. This is just the leftovers. And it looks like they went after our crossbowmen, which is good. Of course, we get some friendly fire from our crossbows. It's good because, yeah, these guys don't love arrow fire. And at full range, you get so much deviation. They're unlikely to kill our crossbows. But of course, conversely, at full range, especially since our mercenaries outnumbered the bowmen there, you're gonna get a lot of friendly fire. So yeah, that went pretty well. Did lose a crossbow, which is sad. So some deviation, but enough arrows. And then, yeah, we lose 1 mercenary, also fine. Of course, we're way behind here. And then 3 unexpected events. Fire gems, nice. Some trolls eating people, that's not too bad. Air gems, okay, yeah, I'll take it for misfortune too. So yeah, I'll see you guys after the jump. All right, and this is what we have planned for turn 6. So nothing too crazy. We failed in our bid for the effective mercenaries, of course. But there was more mercenaries, some garbage mercenaries. So 20 archers, 100 pounds of gold. We're going 210, so more than double what they're worth, little more than double what they're worth. 20 archers, not very effective. However, we're trying to hire them. Let's see, it should be, 261. Yeah, so we're going to hire them here is the plan, assuming we get them. And they'll be okay against the barbarians, right? Barbarians don't love projectiles, and we'll have them out in front. So their main purpose is to be struck by barbarians rather than our own units. And, if they can get some kills, great. And if they're still alive, we can try to use them for something else. We're going to take our friar here with the 3 knights that we recruited this turn, and we're going to move them into this province because while this pass is open right now, it is early fall, right? So the temperature will start to drop, and there's only 1 heat here, so this pass could very well be closed next turn. And we would like to potentially combine our 2 knight groups. Now, assuming that these knights, right, there's only 4 of them here, and assuming that they are able to take out these lion tribe, then they'll be in position next turn to combine, and we'll have seven knights total, not a ton. Hopefully we get the archers too, right, and soak up the casualties. But yeah, we really need to clear these. This game has been going so badly. I actually booted up a test game real quick and ran through a little more, Marignon expansion until I found a roughly comparable lion tribe, group, and threw exactly this army into it. So with this setup, took out 52 lion tribe without breaking a sweat. So fingers crossed that it things can go different ways. And then we're going to take our, current mercenary, mostly mercenary, still a few crossbowmen left, and throw them down into this province, which I think they can take. It depends. 40 would be rough, right? If it was actually 40, that could be a little tough. Obviously, like I said, our mercenaries, they don't love archers. Our crossbowmen don't love archers. And archers is the main component here. On the other hand, archers aren't very good. Militia are even worse, and light infantry these are 3 of the worst unit types in the game in a really small amount. And okay, there's heavy cav here, so that's not good. I was gonna say this. There's only 10 guys here though, so we'll see. We have these mercenaries for 2 more turns, right? So they'll move in here, and then they'll be on our last turn of employment. We'll see. We might try to rehire because we're desperate. Depends on how many survive, but we might not. So with their last turn, we might just throw it, at this. And, we do have our prophet, right? He can kill heavy cav. So, yeah, if we could get 2 more provinces out of this group, that would help a lot. We found some Amazons down here, which is cool. These are the Earth Death Amazons, I think, which would be really nice for us. Maybe actually... That's going to be our next port of call, definitely. We may end up having to fight a war over that. Hopefully not Arcocephali, because they seem reasonably friendly, and we're struggling right now. So we're going to need at least 1 friend. We're going to need a friendly border. Like I said, Arcocephali, agreed to let me have this, so hopefully he hasn't even seen these Amazons. And, the river does possibly, it could be kind of awkward for somebody to get here, and there's these caves, so we might have a second. Anyway, yeah, I hadn't really... This is going to be normally, Earth Death is not the most exciting cross path. I mean, it still isn't, but... We don't really have a lot of Earth, and we don't have any Death as Marignon, so actually this is maybe a little higher of a priority than I normally give it. But, nothing happens until we get these resources, right? So recruitment-wise, we're just getting 3 knights a turn, 3 in a little bit, right? Very little bit. We're going to go for a Witch Hunter, which is a little pricey and could cut into our infrastructure, but, we're already so far off plan, and I'm feeling like someone's probably going to have a go at us once they see how small we are. We'll see. I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen any other flags show up. And we are starting to see, some more hostile dominion up here. Let's see, can we see? We don't know who it is though, right? So this is hopefully just Arcocephali and not another player, but otherwise, we still don't see any hostile dominion up here, which is kind of a miracle. So yeah, our assassins did well. There's nobody left to assassinate, so we're going to go ahead and take this province. Let's just double check. Yeah, that's why we double check. Actually, yeah, this would have been fine. Yeah, I'm just going to leave him as is. He can just attack. Yeah, that's okay. Let's just not even have the retreat in there, because we know that there's no more commanders here. You only need to do the retreat business if you're not sure, right? But since we didn't find an enemy commander, that's fine. We don't have to worry about retreating. No room to make a mistake there. And we're going to send our other assassins onwards. Actually, yeah, we're going to send all of our assassins onwards. Oh, well, I was going to use... Oh, wait, I still can use... Okay, well, we're just going to have less scouting information. It's fine. We don't know anything about the world anyway. So I did recruit some scouts, which I realized I probably should have been recruiting friars. They are a little more expensive. Well, actually, okay, they're double-ish. So they're significantly more expensive, although upkeep-wise, because they're sacred, it's actually, pretty comparable. In fact, maybe exactly. Yeah, in fact, yeah, the friars are cheaper to upkeep. So yeah, definitely should have been getting friars, because they're also, priests, and priests are just more useful than scouts. Well, priests that can scout, and also our guys have spirit sight. This is due to our bless. So these are actually really useful scouts. So yeah, definitely should have recruited friars, not scouts. But I recruited scouts because we really need some information on the world, and yeah, so we're going with Witch Hunter, Friar. With our current scouts, we're going to bounce 1 off these barbarians, because I really want to know exactly, we can't afford these 7 knights. I mean, assuming everything goes well, that's it. If we lose that, probably we're done. So yeah, and then we can use the other scout to go ahead and capture this leaderless province, and that way we can send all of our assassins onwards. There's no way they're going to be able to assassinate a throne, because there'll be wizards here, and regular assassins do really poorly against wizards. I find the assassins tend to do poorly in caves because it's always dark, and they don't have dark vision, and they're often up against things that have dark vision. So yeah, I mean, it depends on what's in the cave. Occasionally they can get lucky. Pale ones aren't very good fighters, although they still often, it's 50-50. So anyway, this is the only other province that they can reach really in one turn that's not a cave. So this is pretty far to be expanding from our capital. We don't see any dominion around here, so maybe. Normally I wouldn't like to assassin expand this far away, because you always run the risk of someone else snatching the province when it's commanderless. But being behind any provinces that I can snatch up at this point, the better. I mean, the good news is that these are both really valuable provinces, which is kind of a double-edged sword, because it also is going to make us a really attractive target. Yeah, okay, so here's some enemy dominion, right? So the good news, though, is these mountain passes are going to work in our favor, but so somebody could be here. You never know, right? Obviously, I have dominion up here, and I'm not ready to take this, so it could be the same case here, but definitely makes this a risky move. We'll see what flags are connected. Honestly, if there's connected flags, we'll probably not bother assassinating. Maybe go for the caves at that point, but maybe also just break up the assassin stack and start to scout, because definitely some information about who our neighbors are and how they're doing would be really nice. The other nice thing is we found a volcano here. Really lucky. 3 fire gems a turn. So yeah, I mean, can't complain about my luck. Just haven't really had the fights, go my way here. So yeah, I mean, we're a long way out of this, but we are behind, right? This is turn 6, and we're looking at 3 provinces. Now we are hopefully going to get a triple expand, right, next turn, which is going to help a lot. And like I said, our expansion was always going to be slow out the gate. And then like once our knight groups come online, like they, fingers crossed, they should be cleaning up like pretty much all the independent types that we've seen, with the possible exception, haven't really tested them against Amazons and Nightmares. These Nightmares seem kind of scary. They have fear, but they have really high encumbrance, so they tend to exhaust themselves really quickly and end up not being as nasty as they might look. But you don't see them that often, so I don't have as much experience sending groups against them, and I'm really not sure how our Knights will do. But the Knights, they should handle any indies. So, and like I said, we really would like this for diversity. So the next Knight group is probably going to come down and try to go after these Wolf Tribe, which they have no trouble with, and then hopefully pick up the Amazons. So, hopefully we'll get past these early jitters. We'll get some more mercenaries to help us out. Infrastructure wise, I am super torn. I think maybe I would like a fort everywhere, right? Every Dominions player ever. Why can't just all my provinces be forts? Obviously, like, these 2 farmlands are really attractive because there's protecting like this level of income is always a good idea, and our knights require a lot of recruitment points, right? Which these high population provinces provide. So we'll get a ton of now that has really poor resources, right? Which we are going to need, but this borders a like 2 forests, right, and like 2 other provinces, and this is a mountains. So this would actually be able to draw in quite a few resources, and I think this is a place where we could push a ton of our knights out from. So, I mean, this is a strong contender for putting it in, and it doesn't really hurt our capital, right? Because we don't really get squat for resources here. So putting this, it's all upside, except for the fact no nature indie, right? So here, right, this is not a particularly 14 resources. That sucks. It has enough connections. It'll have some resources, but this won't be with only 4,000 population and recruitment points this low, it won't be a great place for us to recruit from. We'll be able to pump out some crossbowmen, and it won't be awful having a fort there. The main advantage of that, of course, being that, this is where we can get an independent nature mage. And we don't want to do this because we will get a ton of resources from it once, we clear out these Lion Tribe. So we don't want to fort in either of these 2 places. But then, of course, this province, same kind of thing, high income, high population, good recruitment, poor resources, but enough connections to, high resource provinces that I think we'd be okay resource-wise. And, of course, there's a 3-gem site here. So it'd be nice to protect this. So I'm really torn. Any one of these 3 places would be a reasonable place for a fort. Then, of course, if we do end up getting these Amazons, maybe a fort here to recruit more of them. Maybe not. That is something I'm experimenting with. The idea, I do think I have a tendency to adjust my fort placement too much sometimes to pick up indies. Now, we probably, I'll have to check. Because a lot of times Amazons, sometimes they require temples, and I think sometimes they don't, right? It depends on whether or not the mage in question is sacred. So if these Amazons, if their mage only requires a lab, we're mainly going to want them for site searching, right? Like Earth 1 and Death 1 aren't incredibly useful paths, so we won't want a ton of those mages. So we don't actually need a fort there, right? If they're slow to recruit, that's okay. So yeah, maybe not a fort here, but anytime it's a useful independent mage, it's always a consideration. And of course, we can do the same thing with the tribe mages as well. It's just, I think almost all, if not all, the tribe mages are sacred, so they need a temple. And of course, unprotected temples, very attractive raiding targets, and it's a good way to lose it. So, and then of course, these Wolf Tribe, also not a great province, but it has the virtue of not being in our cap circle, right? And nature magic. So this is also a place that we could put a fort. So yeah, I'm not really sure where our first infrastructure is going to go. It is the time, I think traditionally, turn 6 is kind of when you're supposed to put up your first fort. Obviously, this is Dominions. You can do it all kinds of different ways. You can have a really poor expansion out the gate and be super behind and blow it all on shitty mercenaries. That's a strategy. But anyway, yeah. So we're a little behind on infrastructure. We should have enough money next turn, and we are having, we started recruiting this commander last turn, but there's so few resources here, really resource starved right now. He'll be popping out next turn. So honestly, like that's kind of an argument for this province as well, simply because we'll have a commander here and we can get it started like only a turn late. And it's not the worst place for a fort. We will want a fort on this throne once we take it. But having forts next to each other is actually really nice in a lot of ways, right? Obviously, it cuts into, resources, and that will be a bit of an issue here. Although, yeah, like this is getting a ton of resources. Now, this is going to get split by our capital and this fort. So anyway, we'll see. Basically, a lot of talk about forts and resources. But yeah, that's what we got planned for turn 6. Hasn't been as bad as some of the other ones. All right, MA Marignon, turn 7. Let's see if we lose the game here. So I think, yeah, we have a bump, so that's concerning. Let's take a look. Yeah, these are our knights. So yeah, the paladin's calling him in and says the word of Midas is coming on from down high. He says, don't screw this up. So I think okay, there's not too much. So it looks like the scout report was high. This is a good sign. We're still not out of the woods completely. This fellow back here, yeah, Vine Arrow, not as worried about that. But if our knights get entangled, then, we could be in trouble. Yeah, so we did get entangled there, but we broke it immediately, thankfully. And yeah, Land Tribe are pretty awful. Like, even getting entangled, our protection is high enough that most of the time we'll be fine. Although I may have taken some damage here. Let's clean out the archers before we make any assumptions. So yeah, there you go. Some heavily blessed sacreds can take out a few Lion Tribe, which is not that surprising, but yeah, it's nice that it went well. And yeah, this is not looking great. So we know that we win this battle. Which group is this? I think this is our mercenaries. Yeah, unfortunately our prophet is in here as well. Then we bump with Tianxi. Middle-aged Tianxi I am not as familiar with. I know early age their sacreds can be kind of nasty, but yeah, Tianxi is maybe somebody we could fight. They're not like Yis or somebody like that has really scary sacreds. So yeah, this goes pretty well for us, which is good news, right? Because we're gonna have to fight another battle here. Of course, like, yeah, any damage that we take is going to carry over. So let's take a look at our bump here. And it looks like they are also using kind of a garbage squad. In fact, I think these are some of the archers that we tried to hire. Gosh darn it. So we have some mercenary on mercenary action, backed up by our respective bowmen. He's just got archers. I think Tianxi does get crossbows in the Middle Age. But either his starting army didn't have them, or he chose not to recruit them. There are definitely some advantages to regular archers. I think we are probably going to lose this, because, yeah, our guys do not love arrows. Our mercenaries do not love arrows. And then, like I said, crossbowmen, they do not do so hot against other archers in an archer v archer duel. The good news is that hopefully our prophet will retreat. Come on, prophet. There he goes. So that's good news. Hopefully he doesn't die in the retreat. So yeah, so we lose this bump, but that is not... I like that. I guess his prophet is there too, placing bets on how long till dead. Hopefully he's talking about himself and not his opponents. We'll see. But yeah, this did not work out for us. And that is unfortunate because we do not have a ton of provinces, although we did make a lot of attacks this turn. I think this is just, yeah, our scout clearing out what we assassinated. So that worked out, which is good. Doesn't always work out. Should always work out. Right. And then this is us pinging the barbarians, not an actual battle. Not too many barbarians here. I think we can take this with our combined knight group. Maybe even just one of our knight groups, and then we picked up some archers.
probably going to send both knights. So, you know, overall, pretty good. You know, losing the bump is sad, but we didn't get rocked, and it's not like he came in with something real scary, so it's unlikely that he's going to, you know, continue to push into us, which is kind of what we need right now. And yeah, you know, like I said, middle-aged Tianqi, maybe somebody we're going to fight. So yeah, we'll see you guys after the jump. All right, so this is what we have planned. Yeah, this is where we had the bump with Tianqi. Definitely going to be contacting this player, you know, see how hostile they are. Like I said, I don't think Tianqi is going to be looking to tangle early on. You think, you know, actually, let's take a look. I don't even know what sacreds they get. This is, Pretenders of the World. Now, can I find, yeah, here we go. Oh, right, the Red Guard. Okay, so they have Sacred Cavalry as well. Right, I remember these guys. They're not bad. Kind of expensive. I wonder, more expensive than us. There's this Strength of the Spring, which is kind of interesting. Almost kind of a downside, really. It's like it's better in spring, but then oftentimes with these strengths, I'm not sure about this one particularly, but they get weaker, like in the opposites, like in the fall, these guys might be like even worse than, you know, their normal amount. But, you know, I mean, they are Sacred Cavalry, like they're good. I think ours are better, but yeah, it might not be an easy war, but it really depends. So yeah, we'll see, you know, definitely gonna get in touch with them. I am a little bit concerned, right? Obviously this is a very valuable province, so they may decide they want to keep on rolling. We don't really have a whole lot to stop them with, but they don't have that much either, so we're gonna send in, you know, we have 3 knights, not a lot, but you know, they're gonna get blessed, and we need to bring them out for more expansion anyway. We have our prophet here with a, you know, couple remaining crossbows. These guys have been on the losing side a couple of times now. But anyway, yeah, hold and attack archers. I think, you know, our 3 cav will be able to tear up their mercenary archers, and as well as their national archers, no problem. And we do have a little bit of province defense here. It's not very good, but, you know. So I think we'll be okay there, but, you know, hopefully they won't attack. We're going to be scouting. Do want to try to pick up this wolf tribe. This is probably Arcocephales' dominion. But we also see, where is it? Yeah, down here. I think, yeah, so this is probably Tianqi's dominion coming in. So we may still have some room down here, hopefully. And then we're going to be, you know, going in on the barbarians. You know, combining everything like this is kind of questionable. There really isn't anywhere else that these groups can go anyway, right? Like, we're kind of behind, so ideally we want to pick up more provinces. But, you know, like I said, like we really need to, you know, get these resources for our capital to that end. We're still only recruiting, you know, almost 4 knights, so close. We are recruiting a paladin. Yeah, you know, I mean, maybe if we could get a lot more knights if we didn't get a paladin. Maybe that's the play. I don't know. I promise no agony. Yeah, the downside, right, is, you know, I want to send these guys that I just talked about, right? They're going to protect us against Tianqi. I want to send them into these wolf tribe next turn. 30 wolf tribe, you know, like I'm actually pretty sure that our 3 knights can handle that. What will happen, though, is there's enough archers. This guy's just going to get sniped. Yeah, so, you know, as much as I really want those knights, we need this paladin. So anyway, the paladin is not going to get sniped by arrow fire, and the good news is paladins are actually map move 16, so they're a little bit faster, because our knights, remember, cannot make it in one, right? It's 16, so the paladin should be able to move into this province next turn. And assuming there's no snow on the ground, oh boy, yeah, we'll see. We do have, you know, full heat scales, so, you know, that should help. Hopefully the snow won't block our movement. But anyway, yeah, so the paladin can join, you know, with this group and make sure that, you know, even if the friar gets picked off, it's okay, because we'll still have leadership from the paladin. And it's going to be a little dicey, you know, I mean, this could be more. This could be like 40 or 50 wolf tribe, in which case we may lose. But we are starting to run out of time. And I would, you know, we're only at, 6 provinces, right? 1, 2, 3. yeah, 6 provinces on turn 7. That's not good. But, you know, we're going to start to ramp this up. This will probably be the last paladin I get out of here for a little while. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, also once we clear this out, yeah, we'll be in business. We're going to be getting plenty of knights. And then in the other good news department, we are starting our palisade here. I think I might actually just fort both of these long term. So, you know, it's like, sure, get started on this one. We probably won't get this connection because, you know, Tianqi will pick it up. We can't get to it now without going through Tianqi or the throne. And it's going to be a second before we get the throne, although it's not looking too well defended. You know, heavy cav is always a little scary, but all the rest of this is, you know, kind of garbage. So once we build up a decent squad of knights, I don't know, 15, 20 probably, depending on the mages that are there, definitely. So we'll have to take a look. But anyway, we should be able to pick up this throne, you know, which will help the resource situation on this fort. And, you know, we are guaranteed like 2 pretty good resource provinces. You know, we will have to share this one with the cap. But yeah, I think it's going to be worth it. We'll see. And then our assassins, we found Bear Tribe, and, you know, the tribe, they get mages. And the assassins, they don't always lose to the tribe mages, but they usually lose to the tribe mages. And then we also see Eryu, which is basically like the TNN of the Middle Age. So yeah, the elves, more or less. They actually have some human components, I think. You know, there's more and more humans as you move forward in the ages. But yeah, I mean, you know, maybe we can get this, but maybe they're going to snag it. So we're going to send our assassins in against Pale Ones, which, like I said, assassins don't do fantastic against Pale Ones, but they do okay. And I think, you know, we're less likely to, you know, get the province sniped from us. And losing a couple assassins at this point, like, we're probably not going to get many more provinces with these guys. You know, I mean, there are like this province, but the problem is it's just going to take them too long to walk over, you know what I mean, to some other provinces that they might be able to get for us. So losing a couple assassins at this point is fine because, you know, it'll lower our upkeep a little bit. I mean, the other option is to break this group up and start scouting, which was tempting. I mean, I do want to see like what's going on around us. You know, we still don't really know a whole lot. You know, so, but we're gonna have a shot at picking up these Pale Ones, and then after we grab this, we'll probably split our knights. We'll send, I don't know, we'll see. If this is all that's here, then a very small group of knights along with the friar will be well positioned to take it, because the friar doesn't have to worry, no arrow fire from Solus or ghouls, right? So he's not going to get sniped. And he'll actually be able to help out because he can banish because he's a priest. But sometimes these provinces have like necromancers in them that aren't listed. So yeah, I mean, man, I wish I had another scout. Do I have money? Can I get another scout? Where am I getting these scouts from? Anyway, we'll see. I might try to get another scout because it'd be nice to bounce something off this to make sure. Although our knights are pretty good, but Skelly spam. With only 3 of them, we might not be able to cut through. But anyway, yeah. And then, you know, our paladin group will send into this stuff, and they should have no problem with that. And then, yeah, hopefully we don't bump into anybody. And then, you know, we'll see from there. Like, this is 80 barbarians, so that demands a bit of respect. This looks like someone else's scales, right? This does not look, because Arcos, well, actually, I could be wrong here. Yeah, maybe that is Arcocephali. Maybe. Yeah, there's some drain here. So interesting. Arcocephali took drain. Yeah. And they also have a mystic out here on our border. So this is probably some site searching pretty early. You know, interesting. Very interesting. So yeah. I think that more or less covers it. Yeah, we covered our expansion, our scouting. Let's see, yeah, our recruitment, and then yeah, we don't really. Yeah, I threw Thaumaturgy 1 on here because anytime I'm a communion nation, you know, it's so quick to get Thaumaturgy 1, but like sometimes I just assume that I can communion. So it's just kind of a reminder that like, hey, can't actually communion yet, which is really important for a lot of things that you want to do as a communion nation. So we may move that up depending on like what sort of emergencies we get ourselves into. I think we are going to go for enchantment. arguably alteration is going to be better for us. Alteration 5 to hit solar eclipse is a big target that we want, but on the way we're going to get luck and body ethereal, which are both really good point buffs that we can spam with a lot of our mages. Alteration 5 will also get us incinerate, which we can cast with a lot of our mages, and is really good. Enchantment, like flaming arrows, the problem is that like flaming arrows has a really limited window, so I just feel like whereas solar eclipse and the body ethereal and luck spam I think will be viable for longer. So alteration is arguably like the stronger path. I mean, we can do like terracotta army and fire shield, I guess. Not really strength of giants, astral shield. I guess we'll keep our guys alive. I mean, that's kind of the problem with enchantment, is that there isn't a whole lot else for us on the way. Now, I mean, again, the plan eventually is to get Eternal Pyre, so it's not like this is, wasted effort getting ourselves to 4. We're going to want to keep going later. It's just that if we do get into an early rumble, we really kind of need to hit this 4. Otherwise, like, our research kind of isn't doing anything for us. And then of course there's always like the emergency button of just going Conjuration 3 for lesser fire elementals and then pray that our opponent didn't take fire resistance. So we'll see. We might hit that panic button. But the panic is subsiding just a little bit. Expansion is starting to go better, and I think that covers turn 7. All right, MA Marignon, turn 8. Going up against some barbarians, if I recall correctly. Let's take a look here. This should be fine. This is probably overkill. Yeah, not too many barbarians. And we're in range immediately, which is good. Fairly forward positioned with this group. Maybe could have back positioned them a little bit more to give our archers a little more time to fire, but they'd be less accurate and not 100% sure. I think they're just short bows, so yeah, our knights go in, cleaning up. This is looking good so far. Yeah, and barbarians don't have very good morale, right? So that's part of why heavy cavalry tends to do pretty well against barbarians. I mean, they do pretty well in general, but that charge, they tend to kill a lot of units and cause some morale checks, and the barbarians generally don't pass them. So yeah, that went about as good as could be expected. No casualties, only 30 barbarians, so yeah, probably overkill. Maybe didn't need those mercenaries, but yeah, they'll hopefully let us pick up some more provinces. And then, yeah, somebody's already got a throne, so that's pretty impressive. Let's see, Ichthyosator. I believe this is Oceania. And yeah, I think they have decent sacreds, so they probably took a pretty good bless, I'm guessing. Not all the throne defenders are very impressive, but still, turn 8 for a level 2 throne, you probably have some decent sacreds. So yeah, pretty fast throne claim, and then unexpected events. Oh boy, honor capital. Hey, this is a good one. So there you go, luck haters. This is some more evidence in your favor. And then yeah, more good luck despite our misfortune. So yeah, this is looking good so far. I'll see you guys after the cut. All right, so this is what we have planned. We have 2 expansions, and, starting to look a little better. Like I said, turn 8 starts to take off a little bit for us. Not that we're exactly taking off 2 expansions on turn 8 is not fantastic, but our knight production now is actually holy point limited. So yeah, we're getting plenty of knights a turn now. We're actually still recruiting an initiate. Primarily because he's our only researcher that doesn't require a holy point himself, so we can recruit fewer knights if we get most of our other mages, although we'll probably push out Grandmaster relatively soon so that we can start site searching. So yeah, this is starting to feel better, look better. We are probably going to have reinforcement issues. Oh yeah, okay, so let's talk about the expansions. So this is looking actually a little bit scary. I mean, it was lower last turn, so it's probably not 50. I'm thinking it could be 40, but heavy infantries are actually the greatest component of this group, and these look like the kind of nastier, the heavier heavy infantries, who can be
kind of a problem. So we're going to send our full group. We're not actually going to split. So 7 knights should be more than enough. I don't think the archers are really going to do too much. Hopefully everybody's back positioned and set to hold. So hopefully the militia and light infantry will rush forward. They're faster than the heavy infantry, so they tend to get spread out. So hopefully our archers, can get some kills on that and contribute to the HP route. But yeah, the archers aren't really going to help us too much against the heavy infantries. In terms of mercenaries, so we have the archers for 2 more turns, so we don't have to worry about rebidding. Don't know if I'm going to rebid. We'll see. We can also pick up this Beast Brother, who I think is just foul spawn, which is truly awful. So we're going to go ahead and pass, even though we can't actually spend all of our gold this turn, which is a nice problem to have, right? We really got lucky here with... I think Tian Chi's reaction was, JFC in terms of our cap circle situation. So, and now that we finally have solved the resource problem, which, really should have taken the other army and tried to, take on the Lion Tribe earlier. I don't know. I thought this was going to be an easier province, which we did end up losing to, so there's a pretty good chance we would have lost to the Lion Tribe, but maybe should have gambled on that, because even 1 turn earlier, getting some resources would have helped a lot. But, anyway, hindsight is 2020. So we're expanding up here. We still don't really see any Dominion up here, which is a really good sign. Our assassins are all going to be assassinating, like I said. I think we're going to lose, probably... at least half of our assassins, I would guess. It's really dependent. Sometimes you can create a nasty commander, because if the first assassin fails and then that commander gets enough experience to get, a couple experience stars, then he's that much harder to assassinate for your subsequent assassins. And if they keep failing, that commander just keeps getting more badass, and you kind of forget about it. So we'll see how this goes. Some of our assassins now have at least 1 experience star, which does help a little bit. It's going to be in a cave, like I said, so their skills aren't going to be as good, but neither are the pale ones. We're just going to push our scout up here, try to see. It looks like Area U expanded a little bit more. We're just going to try to see who else is up here, because it's kind of looking like this is our best area to continue to expand in. So we'll probably be sending our next knight group north, probably. And then the other advantage of not splitting our expansion group is we can take this friar home, and he can pick up these knights that we're recruiting and bring them up north. We're trying to pick up another mounted commander, and we're going to grab another scout here this turn, mostly for construction purposes. Then this is the other expansion that we're going to be looking at. So pretty confident, because we have a scout here. This is reported 30 a couple times. This is probably almost exactly 30 Wolf Tribe. So we're not sending a whole lot at it. So this is still a little scary. We only have 3 knights that can reach it. Our knights are pretty good, and Wolf Tribe with just the daggers are going to struggle to get through their protection. 3 is not a lot, so definitely possible that our knights rout. We have a few leftover crossbowmen, because, sure, why not? Maybe should just... I think if you bodyguard them, they don't shoot. Although, actually, we can do that. Yeah, now they have +0 morale instead of -1. So we have our prophet. So, he's hopefully going to snipe a few guys. And then, we have a paladin, and he's mostly there. Between these 2 leaders, we probably don't need him in terms of leadership, because our prophet doesn't have a ton of armor, but he at least has a little bit of, his protection is actually pretty miserable. An arrow could definitely snipe him. But it's less likely that they both get sniped. This guy our paladin will take over this expansion group after this battle, and then we have some other knights coming forward with one of our commanders, and that will combine here onto this province. Probably may wait a turn, not sure. Let's see, we're not really going to have much more information. Okay, we're pushing our scout forward. So, if we see a flag, we might just go for it. If we don't see a flag, we might wait, because having the groups split means that they'll both take morale penalties, the groups of knights, that is, because they're both under 5 units. So if you have 5 units, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know that they end up taking, I think, more morale checks. So it's definitely much better if you can get 5 or ideally 6 units, because that way, if you have 6, you take a casualty, you're still above that 5 threshold. So I like to aim for 6 for these like really small elite sacred expansion groups as like a minimum. But I mean, less than 5 definitely can work. I mean, obviously that's what we're trying to do here in this province. Just a little bit more worried about these Amazons. So while we will have 6 total, assuming nobody dies against the wolf tribe, not a safe assumption, they'll be in separate groups. And the nightmares also have a fear aura. So yeah, actually probably will combine, and maybe even will bring some knights down to reinforce. So anyway, yeah, that's a lot of talk about our expansion. And yeah, I think that covers it. Research hasn't changed. Yeah, we talked recruitment and mercenaries and all that good stuff. And yeah, that's... oh, yeah, I did reach out, to Tianchi, obviously, since they commented on our, farmland situation. They said they were fine with the river as a border. We didn't agree to a non-aggression pact or anything like that. Like, I think it's very early, right? So like nobody's even sure like how big people are, and yeah. So the river is fine for now. I mostly just wanted to sound out. Is this a player that's going to respond? Are they not going to communicate? How hostile is their demeanor? And they seem neutral. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like, well, we'll see. The river is our border for now. So anyway, yeah, that covers turn 8. All right, MA Marignon, turn 9. And looks like our assassinations were successful. Take a quick look, see how close this was. Wow, actually there's some bodyguards here. I can't believe that this guy pulled this out. Normally, like I said, against just a commander, it can kind of go either way. Like, pale ones are truly awful, but our skills, are not fantastic in the darkness here. And considering it's a 3v1 here, or a 2v1, just because of, there you go, he got around. Okay, yeah, so we did take a hit there. Ooh, and we're bleeding. So probably this is a situation where we die and our target dies as well. I'm not really sure why we're taking 0 damage from the bleeding there. Yeah, so we poisoned him, and yeah, then we rout. And so yeah, so we die, but then the poison ends up getting him. So yeah, like I'll take that definitely, considering that there was 2 bodyguards, and then that was the only commander. So we actually could have captured that this turn, but playing it safe, like I said, you could see that the assassinations don't always go well. So. And then, yeah, this is our mercenaries and our large group of knights against, not a ton. Definitely less, I think, than some of the scouting reports. But, yeah, these heavy infantry with 16 protection, it can be kind of nasty. I mean, they have normal human hit points and their skills aren't great, like pretty average. So they're not super scary. But, like, yeah, these archers, they're just, short bow archers are going to be pretty worthless against them. Like I said, they are shooting at least at the militia, so they will hopefully get some kills there. Unfortunately, we waste our lance charge on the militia, so this could get a little dicey. The good news is, their broadsword doesn't do a ton of damage, although against our 18 protection, like, they definitely will be able to, get hits. Yeah, there's one of our knights taking some damage. We're really relying more on our defense skill here. But yeah, you can see there's another one of our knights that's taking quite a bit of damage. So... yeah, pretty glad that I combined the knights here. Like, this could have gone badly with only, like 3 or maybe 4 knights. But, with all 7 here, it looks like we're going to get out of this with no casualties, just some damage. So, yeah, that looked like it went pretty well. Yeah, no casualties. So, definitely, most likely could have gotten away with, maybe 4 knights. But there's a decent chance... we probably would have lost some, and it's not impossible we would have lost the battle entirely. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of prefer to play it safe. Then, all right. Well, not always play it safe. Yeah, okay, this isn't too bad. So, yeah, probably about like 15 and 15, maybe a little less in terms of the actual warriors. Don't really expect our crossbows to do a whole lot. We have like 5 of them. We did get a hit at least. The main thing is, like, as long as we can get rid of the warriors, and the charge here. So this is looking good. The other thing too is we got like an incinerate item from an event last turn, and I actually threw that on after I finished the turn. So yeah, we have our paladin throwing out some incinerates, which should help. Yeah, there's that tangle vines, and we lose a knight because once their defense goes down, then I'm actually kind of surprised that the daggers were able to punch through and kill them, but we do kind of rely on our defense, as like half of our protection. I mean, whatever. It's hard to defense and protection are actual stats, so when you're talking about it generically, combining both, it can get a little confusing. But I'm actually kind of curious that knight that we lost there. Yeah, so I mean, it's a good roll, definitely, but you can see that even with the daggers, like if you lose that defense, then you open yourself up. But that does work out. It is sad to lose a knight, but I can't really complain about how that went, because it was like 30. The scout report was pretty accurate, almost exactly 30 wolf tribe, and so overall it goes pretty well. And then we actually caught a bunch of. It looks like we caught a bump here. So let's take a look at Tianqi's expansion battle. This is the Amazons. Darn. So much for the river being the boundary. We didn't trade province lists or anything. You know what I mean? Like there was no. This is totally fair, but it does irk me. This is looking like it's going pretty well. Going for an attack rear with the cavalry. Yeah, I think it's going to work out here. It works pretty well against the independent, because generally the independents leave their commanders in the back, but not always. And you can see that, he didn't really have a whole lot. There goes his front line. And, this is his only commander, I think. So, I mean, it's risky, throwing all of your units on attack rear like that. This is a lot of guys. You probably could split this. These are not his sacreds. Okay, I was wondering, how did he get so many sacreds? So it looks like he's going for a non-sacred expansion, or at least has a non-sacred expansion group. These horsemen are okay. There's nothing wrong with them. They got a hoof, they got a lance, 15 protection, decent defense skill. Attack skill's not great, strength is not great, human level hit points. Our knights can definitely beat these, but he's got quite a few here. That goes pretty well for him, but a little dicey, definitely. Like I said, I usually like to do attack closest so that you're in less danger of losing your commander, because the Indies. He did at least have a little bit of a front line here to defend his commander, so that's good, and that's probably why he won. But that wasn't too bad. We could have taken that province, but now, we'll see what we're gonna do about all that. And then let's take a look at Ashdod. So okay, cool. We're gonna get to see his bless. Ooh, that one's diseased. That's unfortunate. Those are his sacreds, and he's up against not too much. Almost nothing. It is a crossbow province, but there's only 3 crossbowmen. Man, this guy's diseased. I wonder, there's probably a disease site here, because there's a bunch of diseased units. So ouch. His sacred probably got diseased this turn for moving in here. Looks like he has not poison resistance, which I guess kind of makes sense. It's pretty hard to poison giants down. It's not super effective because they have such a large HP pool. But full resistances otherwise. That's interesting. Maximum cold resistance. That's often the one that you see people skimp on or drop entirely. And I said full resist. Oh, it's not on the bless. They're just fire resistant naturally. Nice. Decent fire resistance. Not amazing. And then 10 shock resistance, +3 magic resistance. Yeah, that makes sense because it's a common way to kill these really valuable giant sacreds. Some sort of MR negates, soul slay, things like that. And then plus attack skill. So help them connect. Not like a crazy bless or anything, but a good bless. Definitely not hell blessed. Ashdod is a nation that can definitely hell bless. So sometimes you see that, but I don't think that's the case here. But they're gonna have no problem with these poor light infantry. and then he bumps into Ariu, it looks like, or Ariu bumps into him. So yeah, it looks like non-sacred expansion. No, sacred expansion. Okay. Yeah, these guys are similar to the sacreds that Tian'en gets. They don't have magic weapons, which is kind of sad. That's like just a downgrade, really, from early age to middle age. It looks like the Blessed didn't get everybody. There we go. He does have a mix. He has some Furbolg mixed in here. Oh yeah, full rainbow looking. So +2 attack, that's nice. Decay weapons, yeah, kind of like a middle finger pick, I guess. It's like a decent way to eliminate enemy elites, but doesn't really help you win battles. It just makes it more painful for other people to win battles. So I don't always love that pick, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen it in action enough to really say how great it is, but I know there's a lot of people that don't really like it. Poison resistance, fire resistance, cold resistance, skimped on, but 5 is good enough. +4 defense makes sense. He's elves, he's got the glamour, they like defense. That's quite a bit of defense, so that's going to be nice. Magic resistance +3, always nice. A little bit of HP. That kind of feels like leftover points, or maybe some sort of big brain play I don't understand. Plus strength, blood surge is nice, although these guys might struggle a little bit to get a kill, and a lot of combat speed. No shock resistance, so we went for combat speed instead. Speed will be their armor. So we'll see how it works out for him. This is more combat speed than we gave our sacreds, but these guys, they're pretty slow, to begin with, so I'm not really so sure about the combat speed there. And then the blood surge. Yeah, the blood surge is really not going to do a whole lot for him here, right? Because this is kind of like the classic problem with blood surge, right? Is that it's not going to do shit because they're not going to get kills against these giants immediately. They might kill one. This guy's looking like he's going to die. He is decaying, but this is the other problem, right, with decay weapons. And this is like maybe honestly like a best case scenario for decay weapons as well, right? Because it's like, okay, this giant's decaying and like maybe he'll die by the end of the combat, but you can see like it's already over, right? So it's like decay weapons doesn't really help you like during the battle, unless it's like a really long grindy battle. So I think they do kill one of the giants, but I don't even think it was the decay that got him. Yes, they do kill one giant. Let's see if you'll indulge me for a second. Let's take a look and see what actually killed that giant and see if decay weapons did anything. Because I feel like they'd already messed up that giant like pretty good. I mean, they're getting like solid hits in there. I mean, the decay ticks are doing some damage as well. But I'm kind of curious if, he died to the decay or if they just killed him. Yeah, right? Like he killed him with a spear, So I don't know. I'm not really so convinced. In terms of the decay, I don't even really see the decay ticks here on this guy. Yeah, maybe this? No, this is the bronze spear again. Okay, so he resisted the decay, it looks like, and then resisted the decay again. I'll have to look that up. I don't know if you get to resist. That would really suck if you got to resist each tick of the decay damage, if that was a magic resistance check. I thought it was just a magic resistance check to see if you were affected at all to begin with when you were hit. But I mean, regardless, right, it was regular, it was just the spears that killed him. So I don't really think decay weapons did, anything for him there. And again, like blood surge, it didn't help because it was giants, so this really hurts for Ariu, and yeah, it's good news for Ashdod. So yeah, I think it covers it, and I'll catch you guys after the cut. Alright, so here's the situation and what we're doing. So we can see this is where Ashdod and Ariu bumped, so still haven't figured out exactly where Ashdod's capital is, so we're moving our scout in a little deeper. I might try to approach this player and suggest a non-aggression pact, because don't really plan on expanding, too much farther to the north here. The river might be a nice barrier, but obviously in winter right now, like he can cross it, so there's a decent chance that he just crosses over and takes this. Hopefully he won't want to go into the caves, and we'll already have our flag here. So anyway, this is just kind of like, decently far, starting to get far away from our capital. and would be a bit of a difficult war for us to prosecute. Maybe not so much a difficult war for him to prosecute. We'll see. But, it's looking like, Ariu just lost a fairly sizable expansion group, actually. 14 units, only 6 sacreds, so that's not terrible, but still, that does hurt. So hopefully Ashdod will be interested in Ariu. Ariu is also not really seen as a stronger power, so, maybe you might be thinking like, okay, that's a good person to eat. We wouldn't mind picking up a province from them. So, not really interested in, signing a non-aggression pact with Ariu, since it looks like possibly, we might be interested in picking up some of their territory, but we are going to need some friends, and I don't think we're going to stack up fantastic against the giant sacreds. I think later on we'll be in better shape because we'll be able to far outproduce the number of sacreds, because we have recruit anywhere, and his sacreds are only in the capital, I am pretty sure. Always nation overview. Pretenders of the world. Now to find Ashdod. Yeah, so his sacreds can only be recruited in the capital. So I think later on, this matchup will be better for us. So yeah, non-aggression pact for now. Ideally, we'll see. It's still relatively early to be doing that, so I may not even approach him yet. Maybe next turn. I guess we do actually. No, we won't border just yet. There is a chance he comes into the cave. Pale ones are pretty awful. So certainly he's not going to be worried about pale ones. But he doesn't have dark vision on the bless, I'm pretty certain. So caves can be a little dangerous if you don't have dark vision. Not that pale ones against these guys is going to be no problem. So yeah, he might come into no dark vision, nothing like that. So he might come into the cave, but he might not. He has other options, and Then again, he may be looking to cut this territory off, right? Because a lot of times people try to encircle independent territories, and pale ones are pretty awful. So we'll see our commander here who's trying to take it from our assassin, or because we've assassinated all the commanders, he might bump into some Anakites, in which case he will die, and, we'll have to cross that bridge if we come to it. So we're taking this. Militia and archers should be no problem. We're not rebidding on the archers, because, they're not very good. They'll be decently useful against the barbarians, but against, this many barbarians, they're just going to, chip a couple of them. And there are some other mercenaries that have come up that we are bidding on. We are definitely overbidding, probably maybe too much. They only demand 160, but just the way it's been going, it definitely seems like if you want mercenaries, you have to bid pretty high, right? Because it's less about what they demand and more about what other players are willing to pay. And these mercenaries aren't great, but they're the best mercenaries, at least that are still available, right? There's 2 archer units, the foul spawn, which Tianchi picked up, and the footmen. They're okay, but they're not great. So these are Amazon warriors who are, they're decent. They're not amazing, but there's quite a few of them. So yeah, we're bidding pretty high on them because we have quite a bit of gold. The reason we have quite a bit of gold, I was thinking about building a fort here, still want a fort here, but I'm a little bit concerned that Tianchi is going to attack us next turn. So of course this is the Amazon province that we saw them expand into that we were hoping to pick up, and of course now they're already on this side of the river, looks like. So we're not really sure where their capital is yet either. But yeah, so they hired the mercenaries right here. So this is a pretty obvious combine, and they definitely expressed some jealousy, some envy of our farmland situation, and depending on how their scouting is, they may be able to see that we haven't expanded particularly well, and they might be thinking oh, okay, well, yeah, why shouldn't we have these lovely farmlands? This looks like a great first war, and I don't have a whole lot down here. On the other hand, it's completely reasonable, right? He has quite a few archers, right? And he might be looking to expand into this province, right? And so these foul spawn mercenaries, he was probably able to pick them up pretty cheap because there probably wasn't a lot of competition for those mercenaries. And they make good lance catchers against heavy cavalry, right? So he may be looking to take them into there, and then I'm not. This group was just picking this up, and we'll head back, down somewhere else to expand. So, yeah, it's always hard to say, right? It's like, am I being paranoid here? Or because it's like if I just completely react to an attack that never comes, then that's a waste of time. And we don't have a lot of time to waste because there's still independent provinces up here, right? So we're kind of splitting the difference. So I'm not building a fort here. I'm using that money on the mercenaries. However, we're attempting to hire the mercenaries up in this forest here. Let's just double check. Land 274. Yeah, 274. Which is not ideal because we'll have to waste one turn of employment at least moving with them. However, they will get to meet up with like another expansion group of knights, and so then they'll probably spend the next turn moving here, and then assuming that we can still these barbarians are still here, we're going to send them into the barbarians. So not ideal, but I mean they're not very far away, right? It's only 14. And I think their move is 14 or 16 thereabouts. So if we do get attacked here in Summerlands, we'll have the mercenaries available to respond. We'll probably lose Summerlands. I did also PD dump. We have a lot of money. And I don't know, we're going to want to build a fort here anyway. This is a really valuable province. It's probably worth this much PD. It's not a great PD type because a lot of it's militia and just short bows. Which are not fantastic, but at least we do get, some of the heavier armor, heavy infantry. So that's nice. It'd be nice if these PDs were switched because this is actually a pretty good PD type. I actually get heavy cavalry here. But anyway, they're not. So, if we do get attacked here, I think we'll probably still lose because he has quite a bit of horsemen. We're bringing in this is the group we're bringing forward to combine. So, we want to combine all this anyway. And I just have these guys on guard commander. They'll just kind of be at the back and, try to keep everything alive. We'll get hit with the horsemen. Hopefully between the incinerates. I mean, are 5 knights and a few crossbowmen. We do have, between the incinerate and the heavenly fires, it might be enough. How many cav does he actually have? It'll be close. Yeah, he's got 17, so our 5 knights who are better, but not crazy better. Plus some magical support and chaff, will they be able to stop 17 horsemen? I don't know. I think it'll be bloody, either way, which is fine. We may lose our profit and we'll lose some knights and we may lose an item too. And, all that sucks. But we have another Holy 3, right? We're pushing out another 7 knights, right? Our knight situation is pretty good now, mixing in a few crossbows. We're getting another witch hunter. We're going to want a lot of witch hunters. Probably next turn we'll start a Grandmaster, unless we get attacked, in which case, yeah, we'll have to adjust. Grandmaster won't be particularly useful if we, in a very early conflict. But anyway, we'll have, the 7 knights with the mercenaries who aren't too far away to come help in the war, right away. Along with another 7 knights that we recruit in our capital. We'll still have a Holy 3 available to bless everyone. Which is important, anytime you're dealing with a lot of sacreds. Not that we're at a lot of sacreds yet, but, hopefully we'll get there. We're also throwing a scout at this throne. He's just going to ping it. And because, maybe we'll go after the throne relatively soon here. That'll probably be, if somebody picks up these barbarian provinces before we can get over there, then, maybe take those mercenaries, combine up, 20 or 30 of our knights and, take this throne, assuming that, the wizards that are on it aren't, too insane. I was thinking about splitting up my assassins. Really would like some more scouting information. We are building another scout. No, this is our commander that we're building. We're building another scout here, and then this province is also a scout province, which is so nice. I'm not 100% on this, but I mean, certainly just from this game alone, there are so many more independent scout provinces in the Middle Age compared to the Early Age. In Early Age, it is so rare, it feels like, to find an independent scout province. And now we've already found 2, and I don't have that many. Expansion has not gone great. Don't have that many provinces. So anyway, it's really nice that we're going to get some better information. So I was thinking about splitting up the assassins because we don't have those scouts yet.
But, I don't know. We'll see. There could be a necromancer here, but sometimes these are just led by, like, some Solus, and we should have no problem assassinating the Solus. And so, yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can pick up another province. Worst case scenario, we reduce our upkeep by a bit, which is fine. Because I don't think, the assassins, maybe they'll be able to get this province, but, like, after that, probably not, because, you never know. Maybe I'll get lucky and the Anakites will go up here. But, there's a decent chance the Anakites go here, and, there's probably another expansion group. Like, trying to assassin expand it into a province that a player borders, I feel like, is really, really dicey. So, maybe they'll be able to pick this up, but that'll be it, if they can even pull that off. So, yeah, we'll see. Definitely tempted to hire the mercenaries, like, right here in this province. But, if I did that again and we didn't get attacked, it would be pretty wasted. The mercenaries could maybe help us against this throne. But yeah, I'm not sure, there's still like 140 units here. Most of it's garbage, but some of it's heavy cavalry, right? So like how much heavy cavalry, we don't know yet. I don't have that many sacreds yet, so we don't know what kind of wizards are there yet. So we may have to wait a second, right, before we can actually take the throne, even with the mercenaries. So yeah, hiring them here would really kind of limit our options. But it would be sad to lose this PD investment, and this province will be making significantly less money if Tianqi grabs it next turn. But they may not attack, right? This could just all be, just me being paranoid. So, trying to split the difference and, hopefully going to take some of these barbarian provinces. And, if we can actually round out, like, all these, we're at exactly 9 provinces on turn 9, which is, like, not abysmal, but bad. But if we pick up another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, that's pretty helpful. We do see enemy dominion here. So I think another 5 provinces is not impossible because people don't love giant stacks of barbarians. So it really depends on like who we border. But like Arcocephali almost assuredly has this, and like their dragon can definitely take out barbarians. That said, barbarians are a unit that can kill or give an affliction to like an expander chassis. So he might not want to throw his dragon right into like a stack of barbarians because that's a little risky. But a dragon totally could take this. So yeah, it really depends on like, who borders it, but it's not inconceivable that we pick up these provinces. We may also bump right here with this militia and archers. Like this is a really weak province. So like anybody that sees this, it's a swamp, so it's not gonna make a lot of money, but swamps are good for magic sites. So, and unfortunately we don't have any scouting, and yeah, this is something we need to get better at. Really, like, I think ideally you want a scout like ahead of your expansion party so that if a bump is possible or likely, and we have no idea. It's just blind. So yeah, so we could bump here. We could lose this party. Like a lot of things could happen. But yeah, it's looking okay. If Tianqi attacks us, it'll be tough because it's pretty early. We're not ready yet. We really want a little more infrastructure up so we can get some crossbows out. Our research is going slowly, but starting to pick up a little bit. We'll get enchantment 2 next turn. Like, yeah, it's going to be a second before we get enchantment 3 or 4. But when we get this fort fully up and rolling, like, yeah, I think Tianqi for our first war wouldn't be terrible. Yeah, like I said, I'm not thrilled that they're on our side of the river. He did agree that the river would make a reasonable border and then immediately crossed it. So, but like I said, it's totally fine. I just also think that Tianqi is a decent matchup for us, and it's pretty close, right, to our capital. Like, he has 2 provinces now that are, within 2 of our capital. And obviously Arcocephali is quite close as well, but we know they have the dragon. Now, Tianqi may have some nasty, like, Titan or Awake Expand. Like, yeah, we have 1 scout moving down. We're going to recruit another scout. Yeah, maybe shouldn't even be pinging this throne, but we'll see. Definitely not interested in fighting Tianchi right away, but yeah, could be a decent first war for us as well if they'll just wait a few turns for us to get ready. So we'll see. Turn 9, better than some.